Oh, welcome. I wonder how many of you are old enough to remember listening with Mother on BBC Radio donkeys years ago, or even watch with Mother on, I believe it was BBC, and Mum only had 2 or 3 channels. Well, today we're listening with Lucia, and I have here another story in my Fairyland stories about Quagmire. Quagmire is quite popular among the readers, the listeners, and I think he deserves more than one of his own stories. This one is called Quagmire Gets His Own Back. The Fairy Kingdom is an enchanting place where the flower fairies live, dance and play. They like to play with the sun, except for Snowdrop. Snowdrop prefers the snow. The snow is cold and frosty. It makes everything look pretty. It makes me look pretty, she'd say when the other fairies asked her why. Even in Fairyland things can go wrong. Snapdragon and Anemone thought of that. They were wicked fairies, the laziest fairies in all the land. One day they took poor Quagmire to the top of a desolate hill and left him there, hungry, cold and trapped. Quagmire was born without wings and he was unable to fly home from the top of the hill. He was rescued by a gentle fairy moth with the dust of knowledge on his wings. When Quagmire came home, Busy Lizzie was so angry with Snapdragon and Anemone that she plucked their wings. "You will have to win them back," Busy Lizzie told them so quickly they didn't understand. "I said you will have to earn them back." Busy Lizzie never did anything slowly. "Heckin' thump! I've had enough of those two," Quagmire said angrily after seeing Snapdragon and Anemone teasing Forget-Me-Not and then pushing her into the river. They skipped away laughing. "When I get hold of them, they won't know what's happened to them." Quagmire plucked little Forget-Me-Not from the water, made sure she was all right, and set off after the other 2 wicked fairies. Busy Lizzie had not yet returned their wings, so like him, they were unable to fly. They could still run though, and run they did into the depths of the forest. Quagmire was faster. When Snapdragon and Anemone reached the middle of the wood, Quagmire was waiting for them. "Gotcha!" he said. "Come with me! Come with me!" Grabbing them by their pointed ears, Quagmire led them further and further into the forest. None of the fairies ever ventured there. It was far too dark, eerie and frightening. "The goblins live here," Snapdragon whined. "They'll eat us up. We should leave now. Did you hear me, Quagmire? They'll eat us. Cut off our heads," Anemone said. "That wouldn't be a bad idea," Quagmire responded. "It'll teach you pair a lesson." "What good is a lesson if we haven't got any heads?" Quagmire said, pulling on his left ear. That might be a problem. Still, no matter. Keep on walking." Goblins were hanging out of the trees and swinging on the branches like monkeys, making strange noises and tittering. They were even hiding in the black lace elderflower tree, said to be the home of the fairies. Anemone glanced over his shoulder to see that the goblins were following them. "What have they done to the fairies? Do you think they ate them all?" Quagmire didn't answer. He kept tugging them by their poor, sore ears. Rounding the biggest, oldest tree in the wood, Quagmire stopped, pointed to a hole in the trunk near the bottom of the oak. "In there, now!" Snapdragon and Anemone began to protest. Quagmire pushed them inside. "See, I do like being stuck in here with no way home. And don't even think of trying to escape, or the goblins will have you. Oh, watch out for fairy spirits. They're not best pleased with you. Keep tight." Grinning all over his round face, Quagmire left them in the old oak. He'd arranged for the goblins to watch over them, but they didn't need to know that. 5 days later, the goblins brought the 2 wicked, cold and shivering fairies home. They promised never to misbehave again. this day they've kept their promise. However, they're still waiting for Busy Lizzie to return their wings. Copyright Lucia Keates 2021. How many of you disobeyed your mummies and your daddies and your best friend and gone out running away like that? How many of you would have liked to have Quagmire to save you? Anyway, that's something for you all to think about. I'll be reading to you again soon. Take care, have fun. Lucia.